Hey guys, it's MJ. So, I've had this idea for a few times now. One of them I happened to get more recently, but the other two I've had for, uh, I'm going to say before my junior year of high school. I did type it out a bit. I have it like hidden away right now in my little shelf down there. But on top of that, let's go with idea number one. So, idea number one has been the most recent one. This one is about SCP-3008. And so SCP-3008, if not a lot of you know, it's based off a game. There's a little wiki on the website where you can type, or where people make stories, or the game makes stories and explains what SCPs are. And just to let you know, SCP stands for Secure, Containment, Secure, Contain, and Protect. And so it's basically a secret organization. But I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on SCP-3008. So what SCP-3008 is, a little picture probably like right over there. And so SCP-3008 is based off an IKEA that when you walk into this IKEA, you're stuck in this IKEA. There is a way out, but it's almost impossible to find. It's the exit pops and goes as it pleases. And so not a lot of people make it inside. So this entire SCP-3008, I wanted to focus on an individual, not the individual on the wiki, maybe his story too, I'm not so sure, but I definitely want to focus on an individual in SCP-3008. Now in this thing, the only reason I want to is it's kind of going to be a horror sci-fi, because there are individuals who in the day, they look like IKEA, at night they still of course look like IKEA, but in the day, they are not hostile, they're kind of just wandering around, prancing their little butts off, I guess. But at night, when the store closes around 10 o'clock, they become very hostile. Their tone is like, please exit the store. The store is now closed. Please leave the building. But they're like sprinting at you. They're trying to kill you. They've killed some people in there. And so my idea is to take this one journey of this guy who gets stuck in IKEA, survives in this IKEA for a little bit. Something goes wrong in a settlement that's there, a group, whatever, and he's fleeing. And as he's fleeing, he ends up kind of finding the exit, runs through the exit out of desperation, only to have his last moments of life be taken from him by Smosh as soon as he gets to the exit. And what you find is the journal, and that's where the story begins again, but it's the end of the story. And I have this scene mostly played out in my head. I mostly have the ending scene in my head exactly the way I want it, and I've written it down on a piece of paper. I've even taken screenshots of how the feet placements are going to be and things like that. But that's one story that has been aching at me since about 2 weeks ago. And story number two, Dos de Mundos, is... So what it is this kind of based off of, I don't know if any of you are familiar, it's a Halo game. If you're not, Halo is where there's Covenant, which is alien species that wants to basically destroy Earth. And of course there's ins and outs in between. There's a foe they meet called the Flood, which is basically a zombie virus. I know, stay with me. It sounds weird. I know, it sounds pretty weird. If you've never heard of Halo. If you've heard of Halo, then, we all know what we're talking about, Even in the memes with the Halo song, you all know what that is. So, this is kind of based off of Halo. I want to think that Halo took it from me. One of the movies where it was a military academy that was attacked by the Covenant. But mine is the same thing, except you never see the enemy. So, it's where it takes place at a high school. An invasion happens. And basically these four protagonists are the ones that kind of almost make it out. Of course, one by one they get slaughtered until there's like two left. And they just realize that at the end, like, hey, this is going to be something life-changing. I mean, if the fact that your entire school didn't get killed and massacred, and I know this is a touchy subject, especially with today, so I'm sorry, but this is a film idea I've had where in a high school, aliens invade. They're not looking to take any prisoners. They slaughter a lot of people. And so it's just these four protagonists surviving this event to see it kind of pull out. And it will end up on a cliffhanger. So I'm sorry for the people who don't like cliffhangers. But I really think that in my story, I even have this script. The script is actually down here in my little folder. I've kind of already written like a whole bunch of chapters. I started as a novel for a project. And I really wanted to turn it into a film. So... That's number 2. I'll probably put some like little examples of, hey, this is a covenant, this is America kind of thing, but we'll see. And then number 3. Now number 3 is this. I was gonna do it for a film festival last year in high school, and this is about like a journey of an individual. So he's driving, and I wanted to call it Miles Till Empty, because what's going to happen is he's going to be driving along this road, and as he's driving along the road, he's remembering ideas, events, things like that that are significant to this character that people can relate to. But it's going to be like, not like a flashback. I don't like the flashback kind of thing, where it's like 2 seconds of this and then he's crying, and then 2 seconds of his baby being born and he's so happy but crying still as he's driving. I don't want it to be like that. I wanted it to be more like, as he's driving, there's key moments that remind him. Like, I don't know, he sees a locket, and you get the story of how his wife was kind of like, I don't know, this his where the story, it starts inclining to where like he's the problem, not in a bad way, like he's a druggie or he's an alcoholic or an abuser, or he more like he focuses too much on his job. There's not enough time for him and his wife, or his kids, whatever. The ins and outs aren't basically there, but it's where the flashbacks pertain to something that is significant and easily relatable, such as he's working too hard, there's never enough time for me, he's always traveling for business, things like that. And as he goes through, he doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. You know, he's working to provide for his family or his partner, whoever I decide to put in there. But as it goes up, he's thinking like, you're the problem, you're ungrateful kind of thing. I mean, not as harsh as those words, but the point of it being like he thinks that she's ungrateful, till the peak happens where his wife is gone. Like, well, shit, what's gonna go happen now? You know, my wife is gone, my kid is gone, divorce is on the horizon kind of thing, or it is on the horizon already. And so what's gonna happen is this character, he's gonna kind of lose himself more. So instead of it being, you think that it's already been like, oh my god, shit's hit the fan. Well, it did, but shit's gonna really hit the fan now. It's gonna go, I don't want to say strip clubs because I can't film that right now, but the bar, he's going to the bar. He's gonna go, you know, to the strip club. But things like that, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. But the thing is when that car finally gets to the driveway, or when the gas meter finally says empty, you realize that the car has been sitting there the entire time, and he's already gone. But that was a life of a man who, instead of, you know, having this resolution where like, you know, shit has hit the fan, but I'm going to get a job, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. There's no happy ending to it. And I love films with no happy ending, just because sometimes life isn't always a happy ending. And so that's, if I was going to rate my ideas in 1 to 10, I would have been like, you know, I want that shit to hit the fan kind of movie go first, the alien at the bottom, and, you know. But to be honest, those are the films that really stuck out to me, that I've kind of carried with me through 4 years of thinking about it, writing it, scrapping it, you know, have a few stage directions from Celtics, things like that. And so I'm really excited that in this class, I'm probably going to be able to write this out and have probably as well as film it in my other film classes. So this is one that's kind of been more like gnawing on me. So it's kind of like a Mr. Miyagi and not a happy ending, if I was going to sum it up in some words. So I think those are the words that I would do. So just to recap, the first one is about SCP-3008. Again, I'll probably put like a little IKEA picture or something like that over there. And then the second one is, you know, aliens invade your high school. Everyone dies except for 4 people, but then they get picked off one by one as they're fleeing. And then there's 2 protagonists. I do want them to be a female and a male. They don't have to fall in love in the movie, but maybe in a second movie they could. And then the third one is Miles Till Empty, is what I'm going to call it. And that one is where, you know, it looks like a semi-decent life. Of course, wife complains never home. Shit hits the fan, they leave. But shit hits the fan even more, and he ends up becoming, I don't know, homeless or something like that. but you realize there's no happy ending for him. And so those are my ideas. I really like them a lot. We'll see how they go with them. But that's my sales pitch. If, producers out there, come on and go ahead and, send me some money for it, some bling bling. Okay. And thank you so much. I know, ASMR. Okay, bye-bye.